You won't believe the challenges Black travelers are up against in certain places. Welcome to THP Discover. In today's video, we're revealing something crucial for every Black traveler before planning that next trip. The 8 countries where Black people may face unexpected hostility. While traveling should be about discovery, adventure, and fun, the reality for Black travelers can be far from welcoming. Hidden prejudices, open discrimination, and even outright danger lurk in some destinations. It's more than just uncomfortable stares or subtle bias. In some countries, racial tension, anti-Black sentiments, and safety risks are all too real. We'll highlight places where safety warnings for Black travelers are absolutely necessary, countries where Black visitors are often met with prejudice or worse. If you've ever wondered which places might not be safe or welcoming, we've got you covered. Knowing these locations and what to expect can save you from a potentially harmful situation abroad. Stay tuned, because this list might just make you rethink your travel bucket list. And remember, your safety comes first. If you're planning an adventure soon, make sure to watch through to the end. You won't want to miss these insights. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss essential travel tips. Number 1. China. China's transformation into a global powerhouse is impressive, but for Black travelers, visiting the country can still be challenging. Many African expats and Black tourists report experiences of discrimination, from constant staring to open harassment. Imagine feeling like a spectacle wherever you go. It's an unfortunate reality for many Black visitors. This stems from cultural misunderstandings and China's lack of exposure to diversity. Outside major cities like Beijing and Shanghai, the population is mostly homogeneous. This leads to stereotypes and misinformation that fuel biases against Black people. Being denied service in restaurants or shops isn't uncommon, especially in rural areas. Even in urban centers, suspicion and discomfort persist. Though China has established strong economic ties with African nations, this progress hasn't translated into everyday social acceptance. Many Black visitors still feel unwelcome and out of place. Exploring famous landmarks like the Great Wall or walking through Shanghai's bustling streets can quickly become overwhelming due to unwanted attention. For Black travelers, these challenges make China a destination to approach with caution. Awareness is essential. The cultural gap and lack of diversity mean you might encounter more than just curiosity. You may feel isolated or scrutinized. If you plan to visit, be prepared for experiences that might test your patience and tolerance. Number 2. Greece. Greece is known for its breathtaking ruins, gorgeous islands, and mouth-watering gyros. But for Black travelers, the experience can be far from idyllic. In recent years, racial tensions have spiked, particularly after the migration crisis. African migrants have borne the brunt of this hostility, and Black tourists often feel the effects too, especially outside popular tourist zones. Strolling through Athens' charming streets might feel safe, but if you venture into less touristy areas, the atmosphere can shift quickly. Many Black travelers report feeling distinctly unwelcome, with experiences ranging from uneasy glances to blatant acts of racism. And this isn't limited to just awkward stares. There are reports of verbal abuse and, in some cases, even physical confrontations. These issues aren't random or isolated. They reflect a wider problem that's been simmering since the influx of migrants from Africa and the Middle East. This climate of tension makes it challenging for Black visitors to fully relax and enjoy Greece's beauty. Imagine wanting to bask in the whitewashed splendor of Santorini or marvel at the ancient majesty of the Parthenon, but instead finding yourself dodging hostility or suspicion. For Black travelers, Greece can feel like a balancing act, trying to enjoy the country's wonders while staying alert to potential prejudice. It's no wonder Greece makes the list of destinations where Black people may not feel entirely welcome. If you're planning a trip, it might be wise to stick to the well-traveled tourist paths unless you're ready for an experience that could be more dramatic than a Greek tragedy. Number 3, Ukraine. Ukraine is rich in culture, history, and stunning landscapes, but for Black travelers, it can be a challenging destination. The country has earned a reputation as one of the least racially tolerant places in Europe. Many African students and Black visitors have reported troubling experiences, like being denied access to buses and trains. Imagine standing on a platform, ticket in hand, only to watch the train leave without you. This lack of diversity and ongoing racial discrimination create a cold, unwelcoming environment. Even a simple walk down the street or an attempt to use public transport can turn into an uncomfortable experience. Hostile stares, rude remarks, and dismissive treatment are realities that many Black travelers face in Ukraine. These issues stem largely from the country's homogeneity and limited exposure to different cultures, especially outside major cities. While Ukraine offers incredible architecture, historical sites, and cultural wonders, these experiences are often overshadowed by the chilly reception for Black visitors. It's not just subtle discrimination. There are reports of outright hostility. For Black travelers, visiting Ukraine might feel less like an adventure and more like walking a social tightrope. Number 4, Israel. Israel is a country celebrated for its rich history and religious landmarks, but for Black travelers, the reality can be far less welcoming. The complex racial and ethnic dynamics here create unique challenges, particularly for African immigrants. In 2023, incidents targeting African immigrants surged by 30%, underscoring the difficulties Black individuals face in this society. Many Black travelers in Israel describe an atmosphere of suspicion and prejudice. African immigrants frequently report experiencing discrimination, not just in daily life, but also in areas like housing and job opportunities. These issues reflect deeper societal tensions that aren't new, but have escalated in recent years. As a result, Israel has become a destination that Black people may want to approach with caution. Even in casual situations, Black visitors often encounter uncomfortable stares or a sense of being out of place. It's like standing out in a crowd where everyone else blends in effortlessly. Imagine trying to find a place to stay, explore a neighborhood, or simply go about your day, only to feel scrutinized at every turn. These challenges make it hard to fully enjoy the country's rich cultural experiences. If you're finding this eye-opening, stay tuned. We're only halfway through. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to THP Discover, and turn on notifications for more travel insights that can help make your trips safer and more enjoyable. Number 5, South Korea. South Korea, the land of K-pop, high-tech marvels, and mouth-watering BBQ, has become a magnet for tourists worldwide. But for Black travelers, visiting this mostly homogeneous country can feel like being the one dish at a buffet that no one wants to try. Standing out as a foreigner is challenging enough, but being Black takes it to another level. A striking 55% of Black expats in South Korea have reported experiencing racial discrimination. Whether it's getting passed over by a taxi, feeling eyes on you wherever you go, or just dealing with an awkward vibe, these moments can leave you feeling out of place. Unfortunately, South Korean media hasn't helped matters, often portraying Black people through outdated stereotypes or insensitive depictions. This reinforces misconceptions and makes everyday interactions even more uncomfortable. Historically, South Korea's lack of racial diversity meant black people were a rare sight. And while the country is embracing more global influences, deep-seated attitudes can be slow to change. For many black visitors, even simple tasks like shopping or exploring tourist spots can feel isolating. Locals might stare, avoid interaction, or display visible discomfort. That said, South Korea still offers an exciting mix of culture, nightlife, and innovation. But these racial dynamics are hard to ignore, making it one of the top 8 countries where black people may not feel welcomed. Number 6, India. India, known for its vibrant culture, rich history, and breathtaking landmarks, is a dream destination for many. But for black travelers, visiting India can come with unique challenges that make the experience less than comfortable. Colorism runs deep in Indian society, and a shocking 62% of black expats report facing racial discrimination. It goes beyond awkward stares. Rude comments and outright hostility are common. This bias is rooted in India's colonial history, where lighter skin was associated with higher status. Unfortunately, these outdated ideas still linger. Whether you're exploring a lively market, walking down busy streets, or visiting the iconic Taj Mahal, you may feel like you're under a spotlight. The stares can make you feel like a rare sight, and some locals might look at you as if you just landed from another planet. But it doesn't stop there. Many black travelers also encounter suspicion or are even denied service in restaurants, shops, or hotels. This creates an uncomfortable reality that can overshadow India's beauty and culture. While India's diversity and heritage attract millions of tourists, the struggle with accepting darker skin tones remains a significant issue. If you're planning to visit, being aware of these challenges can help you better prepare for the journey. Number 7, Japan. Japan, known for its futuristic technology, delicious sushi, and stunning cherry blossoms, offers an incredible travel experience. But for black travelers, it comes with unique challenges. Around 45% of black expats in Japan report facing racial bias, whether it's being stared at on public transportation or feeling out of place in social settings. Subtle exclusion is all too common. Japan's lack of racial diversity can make black visitors feel unwelcome. The country's largely homogeneous society means standing out as a black traveler is almost inevitable. Even more concerning, Japanese media doesn't do much to improve this. Negative stereotypes, offensive portrayals, and the occasional use of blackface in TV shows, ads, and cartoons perpetuate outdated and harmful views. For first-time visitors, this can be a shocking and alienating experience. These deep-rooted biases aren't limited to media. Black travelers in Japan often encounter microaggressions and outright prejudice in daily activities. Simple things like shopping, dining, or visiting famous attractions can turn uncomfortable. The discomfort isn't always blatant, but it lingers, like being avoided, stared at, or treated differently. Japan's society is slowly becoming more globalized, but acceptance of racial diversity, particularly for black people, remains a slow process. Despite the draw of high-tech cities, ancient temples, and cultural wonders, these challenges can make Japan feel less than welcoming. Number 8, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, famed for its wealth and deep historical roots, isn't exactly a welcoming destination for black travelers. Around 70% of labor disputes in the country involve black workers, many of whom come from African nations as part of the large migrant workforce. These workers often face tough conditions and widespread racial discrimination, sparking global criticism of the kingdom's treatment of black individuals. Saudi Arabia's strict cultural laws can make it difficult for many foreigners to adapt, but for black travelers, the discomfort is often amplified. The racial bias goes beyond migrant workers and affects Black visitors and expats as well. Many report being treated with suspicion or outright hostility in public spaces. Everyday activities like shopping, dining, or just exploring the city can feel like navigating a social obstacle course. The endless stares are another challenge. That "I've never seen someone like you" look is more common than you'd think, and it can make Black travelers feel like an oddity on display. These attitudes aren't new. They have deep historical roots tied to the slave trade and entrenched cultural norms. While there have been efforts toward progress, systemic biases remain stubbornly in place. For Black visitors, the experience in Saudi Arabia can be a mix of fascination and frustration. The kingdom's impressive architecture, luxury, and cultural significance might draw you in, but racial prejudices can quickly sour the adventure. From being scrutinized in public to facing subtle exclusions, it's clear that Saudi Arabia still has a long way to go in embracing diversity. And there you have it, the top 8 countries where Black travelers may face unwelcoming experiences. While each journey is different, being aware of potential challenges is crucial for staying safe and informed. This isn't about discouraging travel, it's about empowering you with knowledge so you can navigate your adventures confidently. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button, subscribe to THP Discover, and share your experiences or tips in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories. Safe travels.